Do you think it's more important to have equity in a home or to have a retirement account?
It depends. If you don't have equity in a home, that means you're renting, right?
Right.
That means you're building your retirement through retirement savings versus building your retirement, through the equity in your house, right? There's a lot of nuances with this, a lot of things to consider because there's tax advantages of owning a home. You can write off a lot of things, you can write off the interest, you can depreciate, all that kind of good stuff, whatever, right? Of owning real estate
Right.
versus investing in, a retirement account. So not to complicate everything, to me it's really simple. If you owning a home and using the equity in the home for your retirement is a forced savings type of situation. You're forced to. You gotta pay your mortgage payment every month. You're forced to it.
Right.
You gotta, manage your household budget to make sure your mortgage payments is made and all your property taxes and all the maintenance is done, all that kind of good stuff, right? So it's a forced savings mechanism, the way I look at it. Whereas if you're
And you can't
renting,
pull the money out.
you
Unless
could,
I
you
mean,
could
you
cash
get a
out and all that.
HELOC,
Yeah, I don't want to
whatever.
get, don't,
But it's not easy.
you
is what
can
I'm
go
saying.
through millions of different rabbit holes or different reasons, right? But just to simplify it, right? It's a forced savings. You have to save.
Right.
But if you rent and invest your excess disposable income into a retirement account as much as you can, you need to have discipline. If you don't have all those housing expenses, and you're saying I'm taking all the housing expenses that I don't have as a homeowner and I want to use it to invest in my retirement account, great idea, but you have to be disciplined because you can invest in the you can't really you can somewhat compare the real estate market versus the S&P, for example. The S&P returns you what 9.9, 10%, whatever, last 50 years, right? But you have to be diligently, if you're renting, you have to diligently put all that money
Right.
into your retirement account. If you're not disciplined, then obviously if you're not a disciplined type of person, then you should go own a home because you're forced to build equity in your home. But there's another issue with that is real estate markets are cyclical, right? They're cyclical. So what happens in a situation, depending where you live, and it's a real estate downturn occurs when you need the money when you retire,
Right.
and your value goes down and your equity diminishes, right? What happens in those situations? Imagine those people who put so much equity in their homes, come great financial crisis, the home values drop. You see, so that's one risk to look at. But also at the same time, there's a similar risk in investing in equities for retirement because you could be when you need the money for retirement, you could be a bad part of the cycle.
Right.
So big question marks on that. It all depends. This is the answer. I hate to put it that way, but the basic premise is equity in a home to me is forced savings. You're forced to pay a mortgage payment.
Right.
If you're not owning a home, if you're not a homeowner and you rent and you want to use the excess money to in a retirement account, you better well be disciplined to be doing it consistently.
Okay.